And also, I would like for you guys to check your chat and make sure that you have chat available. If you have questions throughout the webinar, you can post them into the chat, and we will have someone monitoring the chat, and I will leave the last 15 minutes or so to answer any questions that you may have. So with that, I will go ahead and get started. Okay. So this is our main home screen, as you probably know, and we are logged in with test data. So you're going to see some very strange names and titles, like club names and member names and such. But I am logged in as a club secretary, which is what this webinar is focused on. We also like to include our district level officers so that you guys can learn how the new club application gets started, how you can get notified. We do have a part 2 to this webinar that will take place next week. So I encourage you to attend that one as well, so that we can round out the application process. But also keep in mind that these webinars are recorded, so we will be putting them out as resources for you to be able to go back and view in case you can't attend one of the webinars or you'd like someone else to view the webinar as well. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get started on creating a new club application for a club. As I said, I am the club secretary and I'm going to navigate to the My Club tab, which gives me my club details. And on my club page over to the right, I can see a lot of action buttons that I have an opportunity to manage the club with. If I click on the Club Actions tab, I will see additional buttons available. And one of them is Create New Application. In addition to that button, just so that you know, underneath the buttons are some lists. I can see my club members, my club officers. There's also sponsored clubs. So if there are any clubs that my club sponsors, such as a Leo club or a newly chartered club, or even a pending club or a club branch, there's so many ways that we can expand our clubs that they're all listed here, and I can go into each one that I want to go take a look at and manage. For now, I'm going to start a new club app from scratch. So I'm going to say create new club application. The system is going to generate a window that is going to ask for specific information to get this new club started. I have to enter a name of the proposed club. Okay. And then I need to type in at least the country, the city, and the state. Now, these 3 fields are required on all new club apps, but we used to have them a little farther down in the process. The reason that we brought them up front here and now is because we need to be able to assign, I don't know if you guys remember in the old MyLCI system, but we need to assign a geographical location. So we did move these fields up front. You can put a street or a zip code if you have it. Those are not required. Our clubs typically don't have streets and zips, but if you would like to, certainly you can enter those in now. The club type, you can select from a Lions Club, a university campus club, or a Leo Lion Club. We're going to do a Lion Club. And then we also have to say that we've read the new club criteria. If we needed to review that new club criteria, we would just select the link and it would open up a separate tab for us to review. And we can just close that out when we're done. And then we will select next. Now, with those few pieces of key information, the system is now creating the new club application. It lets you know that you've successfully created it and to click Next to continue. Here's the basic information that we've entered, and you've noticed that the application in progress is the status of the application at this point, and it will stay in progress until it is submitted to LCI for approval. The other item of note is it knows right away the district that it belongs to. This is because the new club is starting it, and of course, that new club is within that one district. This allows the system to notify the district governor that a new club app has been started. And next week, when we go in as the district governor, we will be able to see exactly how you're notified. We probably will take a peek at that today as well, but just wanted to kind of note that for you. It also lets me know who created it. This is the name of the secretary. Remember, we are in test environment, and so that means we are also using test data for privacy. So I'm going to
Liz,
click next. Yes,
are you able to make the screen a little bigger or the font a little bigger? We had a request from one of the participants.
how's that? All right. So now we have we land on the new club application. And on this new club application, you will see that there's a bar across the top that indicates the application status. It is in this status. Now, if any of you are familiar with the old system, there were many statuses. There had to be certain things done before it could move to the next phase. In this case, it opens up for whoever can help manage this new club application, whether you're a district governor, whether you're the club officers, everyone now can get in here and do what they need to do. There's no need to wait for anyone else or for a certain things to happen. And what I mean by that is if I just kind of scroll down just a little bit, I'm going to bring your attention to the rest of the status bar. So here's the submitted and then here's approved. When you do complete the application and you're ready to submit it, you just select this button. You can also discontinue an application at any time it dissolves and isn't going to move forward. You can certainly do that as well. But before we do that, we have a lot of information to fill in and get ready. Notice that there's a few things. Here's the application number. If you're familiar with the universal search bar, you can type in this application number, just like it says here, app number 52931, and you're going to be able to go straight to this application at any time by typing in that number. The other thing you can do is go through your club view, like I showed you, and look at it in the listing over in the sponsored clubs. So there's a couple of ways to get back into this new club app at any time. And then as you can see, we have the pay buttons right at the top, and then there's sections to expand. There's the new club detail section, which kind of already is filled in based on how we started the app. There's the club location section, club location section, where it took in that those pieces of information about the location of the club. There's the club details. We can fill this in later. As you can see, things start to not be filled in because we have to get the information. Here's the charter fee information, and then there's some application information below. So those are our sections. And as we start to fill in the application, over to the right, we see buttons. We can edit those club details, manage the club members, add the club officers, view any extension award nominations that have been entered by the district governor, and remove any assignments we've made. And I'll get into that in just a moment. But if we look under those buttons, you'll see all of the lists will start to be created down here. So as you enter members, they'll be listed here. As you start to assign them titles, they'll be listed here, and so on. I do want to take one more moment before I actually start filling in this application to talk about these tabs up here. So we're in the application details. Next to the application details is something called tasks and authorization. I am in as the club secretary. If I click on tasks and authorization, I'm not going to see anything. The reason is because that is a district level tab. That is where the district governor will go. And again, I will show you that at a later time. The district governor will come in here to authorize the application. And an application must be authorized in order for it to be submitted. If I go back to the details and I just scroll down to the application information section, please note this district authorization and the status. Pending is telling me it is not authorized yet by the district governor. And of course it's not, I just started it. But once the district governor comes in, clicks on that tab and authorizes it, I will see that down in the details section as the club secretary. And one more note before we move on is you're going to soon see a third tab. We are working diligently right now to get the comments feature on there so that there will be a running tab of comments back and forth between the Lions and headquarters regarding this application. There is a component in our system behind the scenes that is already being used internally. And what'll be great is once we turn that on over here, it's going to give you as the Lions the opportunity to comment on this new club application. So excited to say that's coming, and it is being treated as a pretty high priority. So hopefully we'll see that come in soon. So with all of that introduction, I'm going to start by editing the club details. So I'm going to go ahead and click the button, and it just gives me the window of just the fields needed if I wanted to update anything or add anything. So I'm going to add the club language. I'm not going to put a specialty in or a club night. There is an area for comments, but you pretty much just get one comment line right now and nothing really more until we get that other tab done. So now every time you update the new club application, you'll see it refresh. And the reason it does that is because if you scroll down to that section, you'll see now it's got the items that we typed in. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add club members. I'm going to add a new member. And this is very similar to adding a new member on a club. It's just that these guys become pending members, right? They're not actual members until the club goes into a newly chartered state. So I'm going to continue with example, web, and then I'm going to give it a date of birth and gender. Okay. Now notice the button says search. If any of you have already added a member to a club or even a pending member, what the system does is it tries to locate any member that might be in our system with that matches this information. And that way we're not duplicating memberships if we can avoid it. So I'm going to hit search. And if it doesn't match, it just brings me right to the process to complete entering any other information I have about this person. The required field of address is really the only thing required. So I'm going to go ahead and enter that in. And notice to the right is where you can type in your emails, your phone numbers, occupation, spouse information. Now, emails are highly recommended if you are going to assign this person as um, an officer. You have to be a member before you can be an officer, and you also should have contact information to being an officer. But the most important reason is if this person, whether they're an officer or not, wants to create a login to the Lion portal, they must have this email already on their record. Otherwise, they cannot create an account to log in. Also, if you recall, during our initial launch phase, we referred oftentimes to a unique email. It's not that this email can't be shared with another member, it's that only one member is going to be able to log in. So if this email is used by somebody else to log in, they won't be able to use it again. So make sure that this email is very specific to the individual, and then you will have no problems. And then you can enter a phone number if you have it, and then occupation if you'd like, and then a spouse if there is one, and then you can click next. The system will now create the contact. We need to select a membership type. Regular member is what I will select. There is the option of family member. If you select family member, it's going to ask you for who's the head of household. If you try to add a Leo Lion members, no problem. It just has to be within the age range. And I believe it might also ask you for some Leo information of the Leo club they're coming from. The young adult member, again, is age specific, and the student member as well. So we're going to go with regular. The system defaults to active, and there's no other choice. So we're going to leave it active, and we're going to click next. Now, once the membership is created, keep in mind it's a pending member. It's not an actual active member in the system. If you scroll down to the pending membership list, you'll see they got added right away. Every time you see the system refresh like that, it's so that you can scroll and see the work you just did. The other thing you can see over here to the left under financial information is you can see that the charter fees are going to start adding up. And you can pay it anytime. You can pay this at any time. And I believe we've created it so that until it's approved, so even after you've submitted this application, you will see these pay buttons and you can still pay if there's any updates or changes you'd like to make to this application. We're going to go ahead and transfer in a member. So we're going to select transfer member. And something to keep in mind when you transfer a member is they have to be dropped from the club that they are in so that they can be transferred in. Now, I have seen on the Facebook forum some questions about this, that it can be a problem because until this club gets chartered, that person kind of isn't a lion technically if they don't have an active membership. But the important thing to remember is that we right now, and this is how it worked in my LCI as well, so nothing's changed, but I did bring that concern to our business team. And I know that headquarters is looking at that right now to see if there's something we can do in the near future to make sure that if it's somebody transferring into a new club application, that they retain their membership until we can get this new club done. I'm not quite sure what that will look like or if I'm using the right terms, but I did want to call that out to let you know we are looking at that actively to see how we can improve that now that we're in the new system. So with that being said, I am going to look for someone who I think I have the right information on here. I'm going to hit search, and I was able to find him. So when you find that person, you're going to be able to see them in a list because there could potentially be multiple records. Just make sure if you do see somebody listed the same time or you think it's the same person listed a couple times, maybe they had a couple different memberships already, make sure you're picking the one where they're dropped and you'll notice that there's no club associated with this person. So I'm going to go ahead and select that person. Oh, I'm sorry. Contact must have a membership record. I picked the wrong person. Sorry, I thought I was a little more prepared for this. We'll try another one. Transfer. And give me one moment while I go check the system and I'll try to grab somebody else. Let me try this guy. I'm going to try well, he wouldn't have an ID because not active. Let me try one more time. If it doesn't work, I'm going to claim um, test data because I am looking at these guys now. Try them again. Yeah, it's probably because of the test data. All right, let me see if there's one other. I don't think I have somebody. Bear with me. I will try to get a drop member while we're doing this. I'm going to show you the edit member really quick. And we're going to go ahead and edit the one person that I put in there. And you can edit their personal details, their contact details, their address, or their membership type. This is just like the adding a member in a club. So if you're not sure what's in each of these, you could just go in there and it's some of the, it's just pieces of the information that we've already entered. So their contact details, and then they can, their address details. Just kind of take a peek. And you can see that all of these are open now to change, and then membership type. Okay. And then adding an officer, we just have to make sure we've already added the members. So we're going to go ahead and assign the person that we've assigned as the club president. Going to do example, and we're going to assign them as the club president. Would you like to add another officer? At this point, I'm just going to say no because I don't have a member yet. And I'm going to go ahead and scroll down so that you can see the person in the officer title assignment area. Okay, so we've added a pending member and we are now assigned that person as a president. Okay, I'm going to add a couple more people. I do want to find a drop member, so I apologize if this is just going to take a moment, but I would like to find quickly a drop member. And if it's taking me too long, I'll just add all new because I am not sure. I'm sorry for the delay. I'm going on. I think I got something. Give me 1 second. I think it's worth showing you the transfer. We have had people asking about that and how somebody has to be dropped before we can transfer them. So I think I have somebody. I'm going to give this a shot. We're going to go ahead and transfer. And I'm going to do it by, let's just do it by name still, because that's what I'm looking at. And I have an inactive member. Let's see. Just want to make sure I don't pick somebody who might be deceased, which would be my luck right now. So we're going to go ahead and do. Now, this is not somebody who is I tested with. So let's see. I do see the person, so I'm going to go ahead and select them. So what you see here is it says, please review the list below and identify the correct membership to transfer. So it did find my person and it's giving me the opportunity to verify I have who I want. Now, when I look at this person, we need to make sure that that they that they are dropped from another club. So if I see an active membership here, I cannot. The system is letting me know that active memberships need to be dropped before they can be transferred. So if I see any active memberships and I try to select them, it's going to stop me from doing that. I know that on the Leo Lion situation that some people see this and then they just stop. But a Leo Lion can be a Leo and still be transferred in. You do not have to worry about this. And we are updating this message so that Leo Lions are not impacted by having to be dropped before they can move in. If we were to just move through, it would be fine. So I will select this person and move forward. I will select the membership type again. As I mentioned, if I picked Leo Lion, it would let me do that anyway. I'm going to go ahead and say regular, and I'm going to make sure I type in their date of birth and select next. Now, once this completes, I will now have a second member that I transferred in at the bottom after it refreshes. So under my pending memberships, I now see the new person I added. And if I wanted to assign her an officer position, I can go ahead and do that right now, which I'm going to do. New club applications have to have at least a secretary and a president. So I need to at least assign those two. And I'm not going to assign another person just yet. So now I am at 2 pending members and 2 officers. Now, what I'm going to do is I am going to stop sharing and I am going to go in as the district governor because I would like for you to see how the district governor now will look at this application. So again, give me just one moment as I change over to our district governor. Okay, I'm going to start sharing my screen and this all should work beautifully. So I am now in as Astro Lion. That is the district governor of the district where the new club was just started by the club secretary. And if I look up here in the notification bell, I see that there's a couple of notifications. One of them is the new app I just did, and you'll see example new club application right here. Now, as a district governor, I do get these requests, and I have to go in and look at those applications and authorize them if I so choose. The other way that I could do that is just go right into my CA. Being a district governor, I have all of these views, and you'll see that one of them is new club applications. This will also give me a list of all the new club applications in my district and their statuses. So if I wanted to, let's say the club called me and just said, hey, you know, we're waiting on you to go look at this one, I can also do it from this list. So however I want to get in, I can go ahead, get to the new club application, and start reviewing it. As I said, there is a task and authorizations tab that only the district governor will see. And when they click on that tab, they have an authorization checkbox. So they select that. They can either authorize or deny it. We're going to authorize it and click save. The other thing you'll notice is the district governor has a lot more buttons to the right. And that's because the district governor can assign guiding lions, co-sponsors, and extension award recipients. So once that gets completed, then the new club app can go ahead and get done. So I'm going to grab, let's see, I don't have the IDs right off the top of my screen here. So I'm just going to go ahead and, oops, I'm trying to copy as I'm looking at another thing. Guiding Lion, click next. Hopefully I typed it in right. Shoot, I didn't type it right. All right, maybe I should do, I probably should do IDs or make sure I'm in the right club. One of those two things. Sorry, I have another screen open that I'm looking at as I'm working. So let me try, I think I typed it wrong. I'm going to try somebody that's much easier. How about that? That looks much easier. There we go. So that's my guiding lion. I assigned one. I believe I can assign up to two, if I'm not mistaken. That worked well, so I'm going to stick with the easy ones. Type 1, guiding lion, select next. Okay, now as I'm assigning these guys, if I go down here, again, I'm going to see them listed in the officer listing for now. That's where the guiding lions will show up. So go ahead and look down there for those. For the extension award recipient, it's very similar. Again, I hope that I will just go ahead and type in one of these simple ones. Nice. So that worked. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll down and I should see somebody now listed in my leadership award application right down here. So as I start to do to help with the new club as the district governor, you can see it's moving along pretty nicely. I also have a lot more permission as a district governor, though. I can help the club pay. I can, edit the details, add members and officers. I can do as much as the club member at the club officers can do on a new club application because we really want to make sure that everyone is able to work together to get this new club application completed. I'm going to stop the share again, and I'm going to go back in as that club secretary. And hopefully I remember who I was in as. 1 second. I switch up. Okay, I'm going to start sharing again, and we'll pick up back as a club secretary. So as a club secretary, I'm back in as example 1, and I can go back into my new club application. And remember, I had a couple of ways to get there. Since I don't know the club app number that was assigned, I'm just going to go ahead to my sponsored clubs list and go back in. So here's my new app I just entered. I'm going to go in and view it. And it brings up my new club application. Now, a couple of things. I'm just going to collapse these sections so you can see the tasks and authorizations. If I needed to know it's done, I can come down here and you'll see it's now filled in. District authorization by my district governor, Astro Lion, District 1J, and this new club is authorized. It also has a little checkbox that says meets new officer requirements. In order to submit an application, the officers of president and secretary must be assigned. So we have that. And I think I have everything I need to submit this new club application. So back up at the top, I'm going to go other than pay, but I can pay once I submit it as well. So I'm going to hit submit and I'm going to save this status. And let's see if the system checks everything if it checks out. Oh, it did not seem to go through. That is not what I expected. I apologize. This is probably a test problem. I should either get the next, I should either get the next submission or I should have gotten some sort of a notice that something was missing on the application. It will tell you if something is not completed and it needs to be done. So if you try to submit, no worries if you forgot something. It will stop you if you forgot to add something or maybe the district governor didn't finish what they were doing. Okay, so this app is now submitted. And what we're going to do is we're going to end the webinar here for submission. This was to get the new club application started. Next week, when we do the completion of the new club application, meaning we need to get the authorization or the approval of LCI, we will go ahead and come back in here and complete this new club app. I'm going to stop the share and I'm going to open it up to questions. And I see that there were some chats going on. So Eileen, if you have any questions that came through, now would be the time.
Yes, there were a couple of questions.
Okay.
Pat Nixon asked, does the DG have to authorize a club branch in the portal similar to authorizing a new Lions club?
No, club branches can get started by the club, and it's once you're done, it'll just say that the LCI needs to approve it. So it will pend until LCI approves it, but the DG does not have to approve a club branch.
And there was one more question from Rachel Lim. Asked, when dropping a member to transfer to a new chartered club, does he need to pay the entrance fee again? Do you know about that?
When dropping a member to transfer, does he need to pay the entrance fee again? I'm not sure I know that answer. That is not an IT question, so I don't know. But I will suggest that you call the membership team and see if they can answer that question for you. I'm not sure of the rules around new members, but the transfer shouldn't, if it's within, I believe, and again, I'm going off of memory here, but I believe if the member is dropped within a year or something like that, they don't have to repay. It's if they've been dropped for over a year and a day. But don't hold me to that, but that sounds like kind of what the rule is that you're referencing. But I would just definitely double check. Somebody said transfer members have to pay $20. The charter fee is being added. That's probably the reference that you're talking about. Transfer members have to pay $20. To be in the new club, I just know there's charter fees. I don't know if it's the same as an entrance fee, but sounds like that might be the same. Now, I added 2 members to this club and I see a $75 charter fee. So to me, it's $35 charter fee for each. Any other questions?
Those were the only ones in the chat. It looks like there's another one coming in here. Corrado asked, is this process also valid for Leo Club?
So Leo clubs do not have a system available app yet. Those need to be submitted to the Leo department with a paper app at this time. The Leo department is the one who creates the Leo clubs for you. So unfortunately, it's not there yet, but it's definitely something we're working to get online as well.
And we have another question from Rachel. Is charter fee a club fee or individual fee? I'm not sure. Do you know?
I don't quite know that question. All I know is that per member, it's a $35 fee based on what I'm seeing. Again, these are questions to the membership team. I could try to find those answers for you, but my understanding is the charter fee is to charter the club. So if you charge it back to your member, that's up to the club. If the club has funds in which to charter the club and pays the total fees for that charter through the club account, completely up to the club, I would think.
We have a question from Gary. It said, this is off the subject some, but can you show where one adds the names of zone chairs on the portal?
That is definitely off topic. I would have to be in as that district governor again because it's the district governor who can assign those. I would venture to say if you could please watch, we're gonna put the recordings of these webinars out in the resources. If you could watch the district and multiple district officer one, I did go through that in the previous webinar. So I'd hate to go off topic of the new club app right now and go into regions and zones. But it's what I will say is, as a district governor, if you go to the region and zone tab that you have on either your My CA page, if you are at the district level, or you go directly to your district page, you will see a region and zone tab. And if you expand your structure, your region and zone structure, next to the region that you created will have a little drop down and it'll say edit assignment. You click on that and you assign your region chair. And you do the same thing for zone chair.
We have another question from Rachel. Can we get Elizabeth's email address to ask IT related matters we will encounter?
So that is what our support desk is for. I can't unfortunately support the number of, we have a support team of a lot of people. We have the Asami support group, we have the OSEO, meaning the Japan support group, and we have the headquarters here in Oak Brook support group. These people are dedicated to be there for you on phone or email, and I highly recommend that you do keep reaching out to them. Now, keep in mind that as they were helping you guys through this system, they're also learning the system. We upgraded and changed our internal system at the same time we upgraded the portal. So we're all learning together and we're definitely doing the best we can. There was an influx of calls, as you can imagine, to these support centers, but please use them. I cannot manage the amount of people that would use my email. So as much as I would love to be able to be your support system, I also am on the Facebook forum. If you've gone out there and became a part of the Facebook group, the Lion Portal Facebook group, I am out there monitoring that as well, and I can oftentimes assist in questions over there. So that's how I encourage you to reach out in all the channels that you have available to you for support.
We had a question from Robert. Can an officer title assignment be edited?
So the only thing you can do with an officer title assignment is end it. You can create one, and if that no longer applies, you can end it and assign somebody else to that title. The system works on the start and end dates of those titles. So you don't have the opportunity to just edit something. If you've assigned somebody, they get assigned the day that you assign them, such as today's date, and then it ends automatically 6:30 or whatever that term is. Most titles are 1 year term and end on 6:30 of the following year. You have to end that title before you can assign somebody else to it, and that new assignment would then pick up on the day that you assigned the new person.
And then we just had a comment from Retha.
Okay.
It says the secretary from a previous club can help the club get started. So I think that was just a little comment
So
about.
I think I see the comment you're talking about. The secretary from a previous club helped the new club get started. So yes, I think what the question is you saw that I was in as a club secretary. I'm doing the work for the new club. Once the new club secretary, so the secretary on the application, once they get assigned, can they come in and help? The club secretary of the sponsoring club is the one that has to help this new club get started. So that's organic. That's the process. So I think it's already happening. So hopefully that answers your question. The pending members need to be full members and can log in and see what they need to see, but it's the club secretaries of the sponsoring club that need to help that new club get started, which I think is what you're saying you want. So that that's exactly what you saw today. All right,
And I
any
believe
other
that is
questions?
the last one on the chat.
Okay. Well, thank you, everyone. Like I said, if you're able to join us next week for the closeout of this new club app, please do. We will be reviewing that, and also hopefully we can add some additional stuff into that webinar. I think we're also going to make good time on it. These are being recorded, as I mentioned, so look for them in the Resource Center as soon as we can get them uploaded. So I want to thank you all for your time, and I appreciate you joining. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye-bye.